everybody, welcome to this video of myself and Mr. Simon Bates.
Hello.
And we're sporting a pair of Selmers. Simon is holding the SA80 Series II and I am holding the brand new Selmer signature alto saxophone. Now, you will have seen, if you've been following the channel, that we've done a couple of videos recently about these new signatures where we go into a bit more detail about the spec and all the changes and why they've come to the market. So if you haven't seen that, go and watch that video. It explains the alto and the tenor signature. In this video though, we're concentrating on the alto and we're going to compare it, aren't we, Simon?
Yes.
With the Series II, because that's what Selmer say they've based the signature off of. You know, it's inspired by the Series II. And we've also got a Selmer Mark VI, which is Simon's, and we wanted to try it against the signature to see how it compared. So let's get into it, Simon.
Okay.
Let's have a little blow on the Series II, because the Series II has been around since the mid-80s. 87 actually was when the altos started coming out. It's in its latest iterant. It's a bit lighter than it used to be.
Yeah, it has changed, hasn't it?
Yeah. And this is that version. This is the brand new one. Now, to be clear, as it stands in late 2023, the Series II is going to carry on the alto, and the signature will live above it. I'm not sure if that will be the case in a year's time. I suspect they're trying to correlate it to not have the Series 2s and 3s in anymore, but that is the situation. So let's have a little listen and see what we think. Okay, so classic Selmer Series II.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice saxophone, and yeah, but I've always thought with the latest Selmers that they lack something, and I think with this it's a bit of body to the sound. You know, I mean it's kind of fine. You know, it does what a saxophone's, but it doesn't really excite me. It doesn't grab me and make me want to play. You know. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've tried that, and yes,
yeah.
In comparison, you know, I think it's a really good development. You know, the Series II, it's a fine horn, but you know, as I say, it just never really made me go, yeah. And that's what you want. You know, the sound you make and the sound you produce. You know, obviously it's very individual to you and your mouthpiece and stuff, but the saxophone is very important. You know, and I felt with the Series II and Series III that it wasn't making my sound. I didn't have my voice on the Series II and Series III, whereas, you know, perhaps on the signature, it's a lot closer to the sound I have in my head and the response that I have sort of somewhere in the ether that I want from a saxophone. So yeah.
Well, let's have a listen. Let's have a listen
indeed.
and see what it sounds like.
That's what I wanted to do. Yeah, I mean, for me, this has just got so much more body, so much more depth. It's bright, but it's got the sort of warmth as well that you want. It's far, far, far more versatile than the Series II.
Okay.
And it suits me as an individual. I think this is a great horn. You know, it's got a really good noise, and you know, it feels good. Yeah, you know, we've discussed that perhaps the key layout isn't 100% what I'd like, but you know, I'm warming to it.
Yeah, Simon would prefer the E flat and the C a little bit differently positioned. That's fair to say for your setup. But I even just sitting here, I know I'm holding your Mark VI now, but sitting here listening to the signature and the Series II, I can definitely hear the difference. And also we've done a tenor video comparing the signature with the Series III, because that's what they based the tenor or got inspiration for the tenor for, and those are quite different too. For me, there's a brilliance in these. They feel alive. That's the best way for me to say it. Both the alto and the tenor.
It's the enjoyment and the playability that's important. You know, you're going to play it, you know, with more vim and vigour if you're enjoying it.
Can you? Should he be allowed more vim and/or vigour? I'm not sure. Okay, well, listen, we've got this Mark VI here. This is yours.
This is.
So actually, maybe while we're swapping, you can just explain, because this has been unlacquered and fully repadded here at Dorks with pads. Special resonators, and also it's had the works, is what I'm angling at.
It has, yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's sort of set
full overhaul. Yeah.
Exactly to how you wanted it.
Done by Abby, and very, very nicely done by Abby as well. So, you know, this is a late Mark VI, it's a 1972.
Yep.
So it's just 51 years old. Yeah, I mean, it was my first love. You know, most people have a crush on a girl. I had a crush on a saxophone.
Or a car. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's a lovely instrument, and it's you know, it's something I will never part with.
No.
You know.
Well,
anyway,
let's hear it.
Yes.
So,
I mean, I know what this sounds like, and I know what it does. You know.
Yeah. So where do we think the signature sits against a very nice Mark VI that's fully?
Yeah. I mean, tonally, I think it's got a fuller sound. The signature. You know, personally, I love the Mark VI sound on the alto, and I think, you know, this is a great horn that kind of, you know, suits me quite well. Would I swap them? I don't know.
Money's so cash-free swap. Would you do it?
I'd think about it.
Okay. Well, that's as close as he's ever come to.
Yeah. I mean, having said that, I think I wouldn't. If cash was no object, then I'd have them both, because you know, I'd never. I don't think I'd ever get rid of this, because it has a sentimental value.
Yeah. Sure.
You know, I mean, I paid about £200 for it. Yeah,
But
virtually new as well.
49 years ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago. But anyway.
Just when he'd retired.
Yes.
No, okay. So they are different. There is a different character. I think the Selmer, the signature, sorry, it does retain a little bit more warmth, depth, lush sort of vibes to it.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a beast. I mean, I know, and you're using quite a laid-back mouthpiece, and compared to what you could put on there, a metal guardala or whatever it might be, it would go kind of bananas.
Yeah, it probably would. Yes.
So they are different. I think the point really we wanted to make was just to, well, A, for you to hear them, and B, and I don't want to keep saying this across all the videos, but it's kind of true. I think this is the best Selmer they've made. Okay, the Supreme and the Signature, the best Selmers they've made since then.
Absolutely, I 100% agree with that. And the thing to bear in mind is, you know, this is my saxophone, I love it, but I'm not going to part with it. Where else are you going to get a vintage saxophone? You know, you can get a new one of these. They may be short supply, but you know you're going to be able to put your money down and get one shipped over. So, you know, that's the difference. Vintage saxophone, you can say, yeah, I'll have a Mark VI, get a Mark VI, and it's a duffer.
Yeah.
You know, with these, they're going to be a lot more consistent as well.
Yeah. We found the signatures to be very mouthpiece friendly. We've tried in testing here on the altos and the tenors a variety of metals, hard rubbers, vintage mouthpieces like this one. Modern mouthpieces as well, which Simon Spillett used on our alto and tenor video. So, you know, I think from a new setup wise, you can kit yourself out with something now which is a serious bit of gear, without having to go into a weird territory of custom this, custom that.
Yeah,
you know
I mean, but you know, seriously, your search for a Mark VI could be over with the Signature or even the Supreme. You know, they're both great horns, and I think the best that Selmer have made, as you say, since the Six, without a doubt.
There you go. Buy one of each.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Simon. Perhaps we could have a little blowout on the Signature. Would you mind?
I think that's a good idea.
I shall unhand you from your Mark VI while he does that. And
I'll clear my lungs.
Hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you do like the videos, make sure you stay subscribed, and we'll be back with more very soon. But for now, I'll throw to Simon on the Signature.